In a dim and disgusting room, 24-year-old loser named Akira Tendo is deeply engaged in a chilling anime episode with zombies and blood-curdling screams. Akira perceives the world infested with zombies as an exciting paradise in contrast to the difficult and boring life at his office job. The flashback takes us back 3 years, when Akira was appointed as a production director in a vibrant company. On his first day, Akira was filled with excitement and anticipation, looking forward to a promising and positive experience. However, Akira's life takes a dark turn as he falls into a cycle of exploitation by his employer, leaving him overworked and mentally drained. The only flicker of hope for Akira Tendo was the presence of Otori, the director's lover, whose affection served as a fleeting motivation to endure the suffocating work pressure because she was hot. One morning, Akira wakes up with a forgotten task to pay his bicycle parking fee. When he goes to his landlord's room to rectify the oversight, he discovers a horrifying scene of a zombie eating out a helpless victim, and the room was smeared with blood. Terrified, he rushes outside, but soon finds himself chased by more zombies, turning his escape into a thrilling race for survival. In a state of confusion and fear, Akira fled without comprehending the unfolding chaos around him. Amid his frantic escape, he suddenly realizes that he no longer needs to go to work, bringing him a feeling of relief. Risking his life, Akira embarks on a perilous journey to reach Otori's house to confess his love to her, pedaling through the nearly destroyed city. His determination remains unwavering as he pedals forward, eager to meet the woman who once inspired him so deeply. Upon reaching Otori's place, Akira is shocked to find his once charismatic director turned into a zombie. However, his newfound sense of freedom gives him courage. He bravely informs the zombified boss of his resignation and takes a decisive action, pushing him out of the window. His hopes are dashed, however, when he discovers that his beloved Otori has also become a zombie. Akira musters up the strength to tell Otori how he really feels, but the sight of her sends his nerves into a tailspin, and he quickly escapes. He ducks into a convenience store and downs a beer. Fueled by determination, he grabs paper and a pen and begins to list 100 things he wishes to accomplish before potentially turning into a zombie. Akira wakes up from a nightmare, a reminder that he no longer has to endure the daily grind of work due to the zombie apocalypse. He revels in his newfound freedom, enjoying beer and cleaning his home with a sense of liberation. Meanwhile, on the television, a news reporter desperately narrates the chaos brought about by the zombie apocalypse before meeting a grim fate herself. After witnessing the reporter's demise, Akira contemplates his situation briefly, but the thought of more beer beckons him. As he heads out to replenish his supply, he encounters Kasaka and his wife, who have managed to avoid becoming zombies. He shares his plans and promises to bring them some supplies upon his return. At the store, Akira encounters a girl who is drinking water. He grabs some beer and attempts to exchange numbers with her, but she refuses, berating him for risking his life for alcohol. She makes it clear that she wouldn't team up with someone whose priorities seem misplaced. Ignoring her, Akira faces a new threat as a group of zombies enters the store. In a daring rescue, the girl pulls Akira away from the path of a truck that crashes into the store to eliminate the zombies. Grateful, Akira notices that his bike has been damaged in the process. Akira locates a motorcycle and rides it back to the Kasaka's residence. To his dismay, he finds their home drenched in blood and severely damaged, leading him to the grim realization that they are either dead or have turned into zombies. Disheartened by the sight, he returns to his own dwelling, deep in contemplation about his life. Retrieving his bucket list, he begins to add 33 items to it before retiring for the night. In a flashback, we learn more about the girl Akira encountered at the store. She is shown diligently working out while listening to emergency broadcasts on her radio. Her attempts to contact the lab station yield no response, prompting her to jot down a list of activities to prevent herself from becoming a zombie. With binoculars in hand, she observes and documents information about the various types of zombies outside her window. Eventually, she decides to venture outside to gather essential supplies, but is tempted to indulge in one of her favorite treats, Sekura Machai. Suddenly, with a burst of enthusiasm, Akira enters the store, singing his beer song. We gain insight into the girl's perspective on this unexpected encounter with Akira. Thanks to the camera mounted on her bike, she witnessed the approaching car before it crashed into the store. After returning home, the girl reviews her footage and identifies Akira just before he enters the building. The episode concludes with her pondering whether she should have indulged in the Sakura Machai from the store. In the midst of chaos, a terrified little girl searches for her lost parents. Her brother, Shu, urges her to stay put as he confronts the encroaching zombies with determination in his eyes, desperately trying to protect their club. Meanwhile, as Akira ponders how to spend his day, his phone vibrates, indicating that the internet is working again. Among the messages, he discovers one from Kensho, a long-forgotten school friend, and a rush of memories from their shared past floods Akira's mind. Meanwhile, Kensho's struggle for survival intensifies in a pleasure district overrun by zombies. He's endured 3 days without food and is now dangerously low on water. Memories of Akira, his friend who always chuckled at his corny jokes, surge through his mind. Out of the blue, his phone rings, catching him off guard. He answers without hesitation, urgently sharing his dire situation with Akira. Fueled by their strong bond, Akira swiftly speeds to the rescue on his motorcycle. As he races towards Kensho, he reflects on the past when Kensho had advised him to leave that exploitative company. Akira deeply regrets not heeding that counsel and even losing his temper with his friend. Kensho's desperation reaches a breaking point as he can no longer endure his predicament. Suddenly, a horn blares, capturing the attention of the zombies. It turns out that Akira had ingeniously tied a balloon to his motorcycle's horn, creating a diversion. This clever move offers him an opportunity to reach Kensho. When they finally reunite, Kensho is taken aback by Akira's abrupt and audacious entrance into his perilous situation. Laden with regret, Akira offers a heartfelt apology to Kensho for not heeding his advice in the past. Before Kensho can respond, a swarm of zombies begins to pursue them. In a frantic scramble, they try to reach the rooftop, hastily using machinery crates to block the door and gain a brief relief. However, they realize the only escape is to jump to the next building. Akira jumps without hesitation, even though he sustains injuries upon landing. On the other hand, Kensho hesitates and admits that his success in real estate was a facade. He confesses that his true passion lies in pursuing stand-up comedy and bringing joy to people, not in deceiving his clients. Amid the chaos, Akira encourages Kensho to embrace his genuine passion and start anew. However, their conversation is abruptly interrupted as zombies break through the door, closing in on them. Without hesitation, Kensho summons the courage to leap to the next building, even shedding his clothes to reduce his weight. However, he encounters difficulties during the jump and almost falls. Fortunately, Akira acts swiftly, reaching out and pulling him to safety. At night, Akira and Kensho sit together, unclothed, engaging in a heartfelt conversation while sharing beer. Kensho acknowledges that Akira's bold decision to quit the company might make him the one with the courage to save the world from the zombie pandemic. Akira engrossed in a zombie-themed FPS game. While on the rooftop, Kensho takes charge of cooking a meal for both of them, playfully teasing Akira about his lack of a girlfriend. Kensho challenges him to find one by the end of the day. Unfazed, Akira confidently accepts the challenge and reveals his desire to acquire a large widescreen smart TV. Setting off on their quest to obtain the TV in Bukuro, their journey takes an unexpected and dangerous turn. They encounter a formidable zombie on the road, hurling flames recklessly. To compound the peril, an oil tanker approaches from the opposite direction. With nerves of steel, Akira expertly guides their bike, narrowly avoiding a catastrophic collision with the oncoming oil truck by riding onto a car and soaring above the tanker. However, their daring maneuver lands them in the basement of a building infested with zombies. Spotting a nearby Bukuro store, Akira and Kensho quickly seek refuge inside to evade the pursuing undead. To their surprise, they find other survivors already taking shelter within the store. Gathering around for a meal, Kensho introduces himself and Akira as college buddies to the group of girls. The flight attendants, named Ryuka, Maki, and Yukari, introduce themselves as well. However, one member of the group, an elderly man, appears peculiar and is visibly sweating. Akira seizes the opportunity to strike up a conversation with Yukari, attempting to ask if she has a boyfriend. However, his inexperience leads to an awkward exchange. Meanwhile, Kensho is already flirting with Maki, holding her hand. In an attempt to impress the girls, Akira decides to down an entire bottle of tequila. Unfortunately, his enthusiasm gets the best of him, and he ends up passing out and vomiting. Surprisingly, Yukari comes to his aid while he is ill. As events unfold, it becomes apparent that the elderly man has been bitten by a zombie and transforms into one himself. He violently attacks Ryuka, causing her to scream in terror. Rencho and Maki, who are engaged in an intimate moment, rush to her aid. They are confronted by Ryuka in her zombified state, and she lunges at them, biting Maki. In the midst of the struggle, Rencho uses a bag to deliver a powerful blow, knocking her to the ground. Meanwhile, on the stairs, Akira and Yukari engage in a heartfelt conversation, sharing their experiences of job exploitation. Suddenly, the elderly man attacks Yukari, but Akira intervenes, protecting her by striking the old man. Unfortunately, it's too late, as Yukari has already been bitten. Despite the danger, Yukari selflessly urges Akira to leave, but he insists on staying with her. She pushes him away to shield him, and as the old man, now a zombie, attacks her, she shares her story. As Akira rushes back to the group, he finds Rencho carrying a widescreen TV for him, a touching gesture that deeply moves him. Together, they manage to pick up the TV and place it between them on their bike, riding home safely. Akira recalls defending his friend from menacing individuals who were harassing his dog during his childhood. He bravely confronts them, and they ultimately apologize and leave. His heroic act fills him with joy and a sense of justice, making him feel like a superhero. Akira expresses his belief that malevolence cannot overpower him, as he embodies extraordinary justice. He offers his friend support in handling any future situations like this. Later, Akira and his friend Kenchu find themselves in a dire situation surrounded by zombies. They listen to online reports about Japan grappling with a zombie outbreak. Safety is a distant hope as the undead roam freely. Akira immerses himself in a virtual game, fighting zombies on his device, while Kenchu shares news of self-defense forces quarantining certain areas. Akira believes his family in Gunma is safe. In a surprising turn, Kenchu decides to dye his hair blonde, inspired by Akira's ability to pursue his desires. This leads to a conversation where Akira reveals his aspiration to become a true superhero, shocking Kenchu. Akira shares childhood memories of helping others without expecting anything in return and dreams of saving people from zombies. Kenchu encourages him, even though Akira lacks traditional superhero abilities. Akira emphasizes the importance of his research on zombie elimination. Their adventure begins as they explore an aquarium, reminiscing about Akira's childhood visit. They stumble upon clothing and start customizing it. Meanwhile, in the city, a bus is chased by zombies, and chaos erupts as a zombie outbreak occurs on board. A girl is saved by a mysterious figure who claims to be a legendary superhero, witnessed by Kenchu from a distance. Akira remembers his diving suit, designed to withstand shark bites, which becomes his impervious armor against zombies. He comes to the rescue when attacked by zombies and manages to save the day, albeit with some help from Kenchu. The scene shifts to Kenchu comforting a girl they rescued, and Akira introduces himself to other girl he saved, revealing their unexpected reunion from the convenience store encounter. The girl questions Akira's pursuit of heroism and suggests that adopting a hero's appearance and behavior might stem from feelings of inferiority. Kenchu joins the conversation, acknowledging Akira's heroics in saving people but emphasizing that being a hero isn't a self-proclaimed title. A loud noise interrupts them, prompting Akira to investigate with Kenchu following. They find themselves facing a shark-like creature on legs, which attacks them. Fleeing with their friends, they close a door behind them, unknowingly leaving the risk analyst girl outside. Akira returns to help the stranded girl, but the shark attacks her. Akira intervenes, explaining his desire to save those in need. As they face the shark, the girl proposes a unique plan involving electric shocks to defeat it. Akira distracts the shark while she provides him with Lorenzini lamps. Together, they successfully eliminate the shark, and Kincho praises Akira as a superhero. Afterward, the analyst girl named Shizuka shares her contact information with Akira, expressing uncertainty about their future meetings. Akira hopes to see her again as they reflect on their purpose. Reflecting on his time in Tokyo, Akira resolves to visit his parents in Gunma, a well-kept secret in Kanto, with Kenchu. Akira and Kencho browse through a selection of expensive watches before returning to their hideout. However, they soon notice that the electricity has gone out, and there's a shortage of water. While contemplating their next steps, Akira gazes at the night sky, with memories of his hometown, Gunma, flooding his mind. Kencho proposes a visit to Gunma to check on Akira's parents' safety. With their bags packed thoughtfully for the journey, Akira and Kencho hit the road to Gunma. Along the way, Akira decides to make a pit stop at an RV show to make their trip more convenient. Unexpectedly, they run into Shizuka once again at the RV show. Akira extends an invitation for her to join them on their journey to Gunma, but her lack of a driver's license initially leads to a decline. Concerned for her well-being, Akira and Kencho manage to persuade her, emphasizing the risks of handling an RV without experience. Amidst the overwhelming array of RV options, Shizuka attempts to choose one that suits their needs. While Akira and Kencho initially suggest a luxurious RV, Shizuka deems it unsuitable. Kensho then suggests they pick an RV that aligns better with their preferences. However, their discussion inadvertently attracts the attention of zombies, prompting them to quickly select a random RV and speed away. As their journey continues, Shizuka shares her theory about a virus possibly causing the outbreak and underscores the importance of developing countermeasures like a vaccine. Suddenly, they encounter a problem with a spike strip, resulting in Kensho injuring himself while riding a motorcycle. As they journey, Akira and his group unexpectedly encounter a rival faction led by Chief Kasugi, who was once Akira's team leader at his workplace. Kasugi expresses surprise that Akira has managed to survive in this harsh new world and offers them shelter at his truck shop, which is stocked with essential supplies like food and spare tires. However, Akira's reunion with his former tormentor triggers a strange feeling in his chest, as he remembers the misery Kasugi inflicted on him. Despite the offer of safety, Akira is wary of Kasugi's intentions. Kasugi proposes a deal to Akira, asking him and his friends to work for him for 2 days in exchange for their continued safety. He exploits the presence of zombies to pressure Akira into complying with his demand. While Shizuka tends to Kensho's injuries, Akira receives instructions from Kasugi about his upcoming tasks. As the next day dawns, Akira reluctantly starts his work, noticing the general atmosphere of misery among the laborers. In a quiet act of kindness, he secretly stores some beer in a cabinet, planning to distribute it to lift their spirits later. However, when Kasugi discovers this and questions why Akira is wasting electricity, he changes his tune upon the arrival of his colleagues. They announce a welcoming party for Akira and his friends, prompting Kasugi to approve of the beer distribution. Akira observes Kasugi's use of zombies as a labor force, referring to both Akira and the undead as mere equipment in Kasugi's eyes. Meanwhile, Kensho and Shizuka discuss Akira's situation, puzzled by why he is enduring Kasugi's torment. During their conversation, Shizuka briefly recounts a traumatic episode from her past. Meanwhile, Akira toils alongside the zombies, caught in a complex web of survival and servitude. In a flashback, a young Shizuka is shown finding a stray puppy on the street. However, when she brings the puppy home, her father adamantly refuses to let her care for it, insisting that she should not waste her time on the weak and vulnerable. In the present, Kasugi fulfills his promise by hosting a welcoming party for his men, while Shizuka watches from a distance. Akira struggles to serve as a waiter for Kasugi's guests, who are indulging in the festivities. Kasugi summons Shizuka to pour him a drink, and she reluctantly complies. As she serves him beer, Kasugi makes inappropriate and crude remarks towards her. Kasugi calls Akira over to fetch him another beer, but in a clumsy moment, Akira hands him an empty bottle, resulting in Kasugi's furious outburst. Meanwhile, Shizuka reflects on her past, which revolved around her father's cold-blooded career as a financier. Shizuka was expected to be the perfect child due to her father's high social standing. Despite her father's disapproval, Shizuka secretly hid a dog she named Rue in her room. She cared for and nurtured Rue back to health, but when she expressed her desire to become a doctor, her father belittled the profession, deeming it financially weak. In a heartbreaking revelation, he disclosed that Rue had been killed by his associates. A montage illustrates Shizuka's life under her father's domineering influence, always following his orders and suppressing her own aspirations. Despite her grievances, she believes that obedience is the key to her survival. Amidst Kasugi's continued berating of Akira, he asserts that working for him is a better choice than attempting to survive with his friends in the post-apocalyptic world. Shizuka's thoughts drift back to another moment from her past, where her father cruelly pointed out poor people, and instructed her to continue following his orders. He emphasized that she must not embarrass him, making Shizuka realize that her obedience was solely for her father's benefit. Returning to the RV, Shizuka notices Akira's bucket list and curiously examines it. She decides to add an item to it. The 2 days with Kasugi pass, and Shizuka informs him that she, Kensho, and Akira will be leaving. However, Akira surprises everyone by announcing his decision to stay with Kasugi, citing a sense of indebtedness for all that Kasugi has done for them. Before departing, Shizuka has a moment of revelation, recalling her own experiences with her controlling father. She decides to confide in Akira, revealing Kasugi's true intentions. Shizuka refuses to be controlled by anyone else and hands Akira his bucket list, asking him what he truly wants. She hints at what she added to the list the previous night, which is for Akira to stand up to Kasugi. Kasugi attempts to sabotage Akira's bucket list, but Akira fiercely protects it. While expressing gratitude for Kasuga's care, Akira firmly states his decision to part ways with him, despite Kasuga's warnings that survival outside will be near impossible. A turning point occurs when one of Kasuga's men returns with a truck full of supplies, but a zombie hidden inside the vehicle bites him. Panic ensues, leading to the release of Kasuga's zombie slaves. On the spot, Akira devises a strategy and seeks assistance from the delivery team. He manages to save Kasuga from becoming zombie food while the delivery team forms a protective barrier around them. Akira and Kasuga make a daring leap across the trucks just as Akira triggers an explosion, creating a diversion. Subsequently, the people who had been working under Kasuga decide to quit, leaving him behind as he pleads for them to stay. Later, Akira, Kencho, and Shizuka drive toward Gunma in search of Akira's family.